Well, hello there. I'm about to make paella. This isn't traditional Spanish paella. It is an Australian version, like everything in Australia. It is Australianized. It has chorizo because delicious. Let's get into it. Start off by cutting these into nice thick strips. This is the weirdest video. We're gonna cut these. With these, you want them about an inch thick, but try and keep them to the same size every single one because it means they'll cut better and chew equally. Yeah, that's about right. So we've got the oil on the back heating up. All of this cut up. Well, that fucking, whoops. And now we're gonna chuck this onto the stove to cook it and golden brown on both sides. We'll cook you. My benches are clean. So while the chorizo is cooking in the background, I'm going to cut up my tubey boys here into 7mm strips. So they're not too thick that they stay right. Like when you cook them, they end up going rubbery, but just enough that there's a bit of a chew. I'm now covered in calamari. Great. So I'll come down here with you. You want them about that big, well, that thick. Nice and sliced. You can hear it in the background, I think, but not too big and not too small. Kind of like a child's wrist size. That sounds a little weird. We'll go with that. Now, I don't have a proper paella pan, and that's okay. This is more of an at-home version where you don't go spend another $40 on a pan that you'll probably use once or twice in your lifetime. This is in the pan that you have at home version. Now once these are golden brown, I'll get them out and put that squid in. But I only added a little bit of oil. This is a really oily chorizo, so you won't need to add any more oil when you put that in. The chorizo is done. Be careful, you don't want to take out too much oil, so it'd be better if you had thing with a hole in it. So I've turned this down, very down, hopefully as onto low. With the oil that you have in there, we're gonna chuck our squiddy boys. They won't have to be that long. I'll come down here with you guys. So while that is on low and slowly cooking, the squid, I'm gonna crush the 3 tomatoes, cut up my onion, and cut up my garlic. So it's prepped for the next stage. Before I actually cut these, I can give you a heads up. You do not need to use fresh tomatoes. You can use canned crushed tomatoes. You do not need to use fresh garlic. You can use jarred garlic. Onion, you need to use an onion. Like, I don't think there's an alternative. I think there's frozen onions, but fresh onions are easier. Like they just also have better taste and less liquid. So I've taken the squid off, and now I'm going to chuck on the garlic and onion that I've just cut up into the pan and let it go translucent. You don't want it to go dark or like black, because then it leads to kind of like bitter taste in the whole entire meal. And now while that's cooking, I forgot to say, you have to cut up my dear boyfriend here. Diced. Easy. If you want an easy way of how to cut this up, comment down below and I'll actually teach you how to cut capsicum up. I think people call these peppers in America. It's capsicum. It is a capsicum. So I've just put the capsicum, or about to put the capsicum into the onions, because the onions have gone translucent. But I want to show you the special ingredient in all paella you'd hope they put in, and it's the most expensive part of this whole meal. If you can't see what this is, ignore the brand. It's saffron. This tiny thing cost me $15, but it's going to be worth it. So you get a pinch of this to 2 tablespoons of warm water to infuse it, let it sit for a while, and then you'll end up with this delightful stuff. It's expensive. And it's expensive for a reason because of how it comes out. It's from the flour, the inputs of the flour, and it's hard to actually get. So this isn't a meal that I make often just because of the fact that $15 for this, when I can make a meal for 4 people with $15. Like, so to 2 tablespoons of warm water, you're going to put half of this little container in and let it infuse for 10 minutes before you use it. It seems a bit, don't lose the precious things. Seems a bit crazy, but it's worth it. And it also helps with the colour, so it's up to you. Whoop. If you can see, I don't know if I can tilt it enough. Oh, it's already gone slightly yellow. Now we'll leave that for 10 minutes and then use it after. So I don't know what it's about cooking onion and garlic, but it makes the whole entire apartment smell amazing. I think that's any time you cook them, it's always so good. I've cut the chicken up into nice little size cube size. I'm about to chuck it into the pan with the garlic, capsicum and onion, and I'm going to brown it off but not fully cook it inside, just because it'll cook a bit later and you don't want to overcook it. Whop! While the chicken's cooking, I'm going to take us on a little detour of this pan. How cute is that little like imprint? There's a little daisy down there too. It's of Australia. They even have Tasmania. Most people forget Tasmania. How good is that? Now, I don't like raw tomatoes. I don't really like tomatoes unless they're mixed in stuff. If you have any recipe ideas to do with these, please send them to me. Daisy. Because I don't know what to do with these. Actually, I have a few ideas. Should I say, yo quiero una paella, or yo necesito una paella? So una would be una, because there's an A at the end. I mean, Duolingo only teaches you so far. So the chicken is almost all the way through cooked. I'm going to chuck in the rice and then get that covered in the oil that is remaining in there. So the chicken is almost all the way through. Yeah, there's not enough oil, just add a little bit extra, but this one should be fine. Chuck in most, but not all, the chorizo. It is an oily chorizo. I'm going to leave some for the top, for garnish. More. I'm going to mix that in. I'm going to put the chopped tomato in there as well. And now we're going to add the chicken stock and saffron. A beautiful friend over here has been sitting for at least 15 minutes because I've been distracted by playing with the dog, so hopefully that doesn't stay in the bowl. 3.5 cups, so I'm going to get a cup for that, not just do it out of habit of chicken stock. And now we're going to let that simmer, but gently, the next 10 minutes. I'm not going to stir it at all until the rice starts poking up the top. So at this point, the rice is now popping up a little bit. I'm going to add in the frozen peas and the prawns. This is where you could also add the mussels. I don't like mussels, so I'm not going to waste food and show you how to do it. But if you add the mussels in now, if any don't open in the next like 8 to 10 minutes, you eat them. But I also like these prawns. So we're adding about, squish those in. So at this point, we're going to test the rice and see if it is cooked. It's still going to be a little bit liquidy because you just want to find out how firm it is, because if it's too firm, you don't want it that way. It's also up to preference. A little bit longer. So now the rice is how I like it. I'm going to chuck on the remainder chorizo. I probably should have left a little more to make it more aesthetically pleasing, but yeah. And then we're going to chuck this on the squiddy bosh. We're going to have it aesthetically pleasing. Because that's what everyone likes, right? Aesthetically pleasing food, as long as it tastes good, right? Right. Now it looks like a conspiracy theorist. We're going to leave that for 5-10 minutes to allow the residual heat to warm up the remaining chorizo and squiddy boys. And once that's done, we can take it out and serve it up. And we're done. To serve, you're going to mix this up and then put it into bowls, and then we'll put some lemon and some parsley over the top of it. But there's my easy alternative paella. If you want this recipe, it's down below in the description. Please subscribe, and thank you guys.